was like she had no clue who he was, or who she thought he was. Kurtz was completely built up in her mind. Like
she had the idea of him.
Yeah. Like she didn't actually know him. She just knew an idea of. Because I don't know, it didn't seem to be like she actually had any.
But yet she seriously believed or hoped that she knew him so well and knew him better than anyone else. So when the narrator lies at the end about what his last words were, when he realizes he can't repeat what the last words actually were, instead he lies and says it was her name, that she takes that as confirmation that she did really know him, knew him better than anyone else, and that had this, this deep connection with him.
He says the last words he pronounced was your name. She says, I knew it, I was sure. And then he says, she knew, she was sure. Which seems really ironic.
That's that kind of cynical sense of humor.
Maybe that was her name.
The horror? That was her nickname.
You never know, yeah. She was a boxer.
That idea that people are so far removed that they just don't have a clue, and that's kind of what she represented for me, was just the ridiculousness of somebody who's never been there and doesn't know anything about it feeling like they know and are part of it.
Well, it also reminded me a lot of like coming home from war and then like telling, having to tell the mom or the daughter or whatever that your son's died bravely in war. And then it's kind of like, it was weird because I had that in my mind, and then all the things you were saying could like directly, totally tie into like a war narrative too. Like, if your husband goes away to war, he's gone for a year, who knows how much he's changed in the whole time. Like, he's seen war, he's seen the atrocities of war, and then you come back and you remember him like the army picture. Like as like what he was like at home, but you never know how much he would have changed or she would have changed.
Well, and it makes sense why she would come across to us, knowing the whole story.
Yeah.
It was such a, just so ridiculous and such a bimbo, but at the same time, if I were in her position, and my husband or fiancé was off in the war, off in the Congo, that would be the one thread of hope that I would hold on to, right? That we do have this deep connection that's going to keep us, so that when he does come back one day, it will be the way.
We found your picture in his pocket when he was shot. Or
exactly.
Like, that's what you want.
Because it's what keeps you going when you're left on the other end, just waiting.
Because the suffering on the other end is very real too.
Oh, of course it is.
But it is interesting, because I think that what we're talking about is something that probably a lot of American households are going, or maybe not at the moment. Well, yeah, with Afghanistan, but have gone through, where it's like they're trying so hard to keep up a tenuous connection with that person. You will make things up to try to keep that there.
Well, of course.
You can get the iPhone 4, which has the double camera.